Why-yo? Why-yo? What's up, family? 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 Hi there. Be more city. Be more city. Be more's real team talk show. Be more's real team talk show. Be more's real team talk show. Ah, family, 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 family. Be More's real team talk show. Let me make sure I got my table back far enough where I could cross my legs. Where I can cross my legs. Where I can cross my legs to be comfortable from time to time. Okay, family. Be More's real team talk show. Giving our youth and parents a voice. Yep, Jackie. Giving our youth and parents a voice. You know what? I truly want to thank God for being God. I truly thank God for being God. I just want to say this Baltimore City and whatever cities, Chicago, Detroit, Illinois, which whatever cities that's looking at this live. Um, I sent some videos over, right, touching a little bit on uh, the young lady that was bullied and lost her life. I was trying. I had seen it. I didn't want to like really look at or listen to everything that took place because my heart went out to the family and not just the young lady that lost her life. I'm looking at the other families whose children probably suffer because of what happened. There's a good chance. Jackie, I know that's what touched me, Queen. I didn't want to look at it. I didn't want to look at it because y'all know how I feel about our youth and us trying to help them live a healthy, productive way of life. You don't really know who to blame. Should we blame it on the school? Should we blame it on the parents? But most of all, it's going to be blamed on the children, the ones that was involved, because a life was lost. Keep in mind, I can't even imagine losing a child. Now, I done buried some family members throughout the years, but I can't even imagine. Mine's is grown, and I thank God. I made a statement too, and not for no one to take in a negative way, but as a minister for Christ, and I know at the funeral they're probably going to quote it, there's a time to be born, and there's a time when God gonna call you back home. But he never said how. You get me? So when I made that statement, because as a minister, as a deacon that's in the ministry, I understand some of the stuff we read when people lose their lives. It's a time to be born, and it's a time to be unalive. Or for my broadcast network platform, die. Y'all know I have to use TikTok friendly words. Family. I don't want to stay in a slump place. What I wanted to look up, how do we stop bullying? Let me share this with y'all. For every action, there's a reaction, or for every negative. Now, I'm gonna do it on here as well, right? I started the Team Talk Show, right? Well, I started actually Stephen Copeland Jr., Sports and Talents. Stephen Copeland Jr., Sports and Talents. My son plays soccer. His goal is to be a professional soccer player. Our goal is to open up 4 multi-purpose centers in Baltimore City. In these multi-purpose centers, music, theater, art, dancing, to embrace their talents, our youth talents. We got to find something more positive for them to do. And not only that, in the multi-purpose center, the goal is to address those issues that's happening behind closed doors. Y'all remember the old saying, what's done in the house stays in the house. Where that lie got to go. Because we have a lot of children being great, being funded, being mentally, emotionally abused, physically as well. AK, physically as well. So the goal is to bring in professional help to help them cope with that anger, that resentment, that fear, that abandonment issues. Stephen Copeland Jr., right? By Steve playing soccer, I spoke with some people to help us when it comes to the sports sides of it. Paul Brookshaw was one, Kevin Healy was another one, and Mike Conway was another one. These are people that's into soccer. Kevin Healy started his own soccer league. He used to be the president of the Baltimore Blast here in Baltimore City with Kevin Plank. These are the guys that sent Adidas some information that my son at 15 years old went to Amsterdam to represent Baltimore City in the United States and playing soccer, and they beat the Dutch. He was 15 years old at that time. He plays on the professional level. He finished school. He got some college under his belt. So if there are any FIFA agents out there, if there's anybody out there that wants a great, I was going to say quarterback. See, that goes to show y'all I don't know nothing about sports. But he's a defender. I'm going to tell you, he defend that goal. And sometimes he'll get that ball and he'll come out of defender and run straight into striker mode. And he'll take that ball down there and put it in. I'd be like, what in the world? I watched my son jump up in the air, turn around and kick the ball right in the goal. I said, oh my God, whose son is that? Whose son is that? Then it hit me. Mine. I was never a sports player like that. His mother put him in when he was about 5 years old, I believe. And he's been playing since then. He'll be 23 in May. College. He got some of that under his belt because this is what he had to do in order to become a professional. He had to get all of that under his belt. Now, as a result of watching my son family and my daughters, they did modern dance. They did acting. I mean, they did fashion shows. We kept them busy. And that's what I'm looking at, parents, with a lot of our youth that we're not keeping busy. You got soccer out there. You know you got the baseball, basketball, football, all that. You got soccer, you got lacrosse, you got golf. I don't know why Rodale Hall. I don't know why it was so hard for me to get your name out. This is one of the brothers that started. Let me watch it because I'm getting ready to say strengthen the community. This is one of the brothers in Baltimore City. He's a chef. He started No One Person Goes Hungry. Matter of fact, the reason why I'm mentioning Chef Hall's name, because he coached a girls' basketball team. He coached the girls' basketball team. Thanks, KY. I was looking at, and this is some of the organizations that I know in Baltimore City. Mayo Fonzo. What I'm looking at, family, is how can we stop or slow down bullying? How can we stop or slow down bullying? You have to find some healthy, positive things for our young youth to do, to keep them busy. That's why you need to talk to your children and find out what is their visions as they get older. What is their passion for as they get older? You put them into these programs out here to help them start off early. Go to your community, neighborhood association meetings to find out what programs are in your community. You have mentoring programs. You have women that will mentor young women, teaching them how to be young women. You have males, mentors, that teach our young men how to be young men. Because soon they will be from boys to men. You get me? Boys to men. Start off young. If your child has been raped for TikTok's sake, raped for my platform, fondled, mentally, emotionally, and physically abused, and they come to you to talk to you, listen. Get them the proper help that they need. Counseling, therapy. You can also get family counseling. That's why in your community, you go out and you seek those programs that's in your community. Y'all have a neighborhood association in every community. That's all you got to do is go visit them from time to time. They should have pamphlets there. I can only share this with you because I am a community activist, community organizer, homeless advocate, civil rights advocate, human rights person. I had to get involved. I had to get to know the organizations that's in the community that fights for people democracy, that fights for your civil rights, your equal rights, and your constitutional rights. I had to get to know a lot of our politicians from the House of Delegates on up to Congress in your community. This getting involved or just checking out some of the community associations like nonprofits and businesses that's created to help our youth grow. Parents, if you still stuck on old information, unhealthy information, parents, if you are stuck on unhealthy information, that's all you could do. I'm talking about destructive stuff, is feed your kids back that destruction as well. The blessing is I lived that street life. I started smoking the grass, and I'm going to repeat it, and I'm going to repeat it, and I'm going to repeat it. When I was 11, I started drinking Thunderbird. It was in a cup about this size, but this coffee right here, for TikTok's sake, I don't drink Thunderbird no more. This is coffee right here. And it's good too. I'm talking about the flavoring. I started drinking Thunderbird at 13. I started with the rich man high. I was 14, right? I remember one day I asked my 14-year-old. I remember one day I asked my cousin, I said, can you shoot this? She said, yeah. I said, well, hit me. That was between 14 and 15. 14 and 15. I told her to hit me. From that time forth, I added in the other stuff. Yeah, Thunderbird. I added in the other stuff. I ain't never been down like that because I liked it, the upper one more. But I never did that one. And I ain't, and look, I ain't gonna go, not yet. No, I don't never dare the time want to do what I used to do, parents. That's why you got to pay close attention to your children. It starts young. when you see unhealthy, unusual, unnormal behaviors, come here, baby. What is wrong? And if they can't express themselves openly to you like that, then reach for some outside help so they can, let out what's going on so they can get the proper help. And when I started doing my business proposal, right, I said in it, I'm talking about, I'm sorry, the Teen Talk Show proposal. In it, I said I want like once a month till we can get them out twice a month, like a therapist to come out, a counselor, to help those that's dealing with trauma from the house on up, even bullying. But trauma. And I wrote in it, and I don't mind sharing this if somebody else want to get them up and running too, that's fine. A daycare center in the multi-purpose center. Now, see, I don't know. From a lot of the nonprofits and the people that I know in Baltimore City, I don't know who might have a program set up like that. And what area? But guess what? Rather it's north, east, south, north, east, south, west. If we got one in the 3000 block, then we got one in the 1000 block of West Baltimore. That's beautiful. But I'm going to tell y'all this, and I know personally, it's going to be hard to come by. But I have faith in our philanthropists. I have faith in our elected officials that actually want to put programs together where I can bring minds in. That's all I need is a building. Got too many colleges around here with students that can come out and help our untalented to become talented, embrace their talents. Whether it's music, singing, art, theater, acting, cooking, cleaning, all of that. These things can be taught. We can keep our children busy. We can slow the bullying down, if not stop it. And the way life is, it might not ever stop, but we can slow it down. Now, before I came up here, I was wondering, and I'm going to have to ask around about that. Do some of these programs that work with our youth, do they have bullying intervention programs? Bullying causes severe, long-lasting mental health issues by creating chronic stress, fear, and hopelessness. Victims frequently develop depression, anxiety disorders, low self-esteem, and social withdrawal, often suffering from physical symptoms like headaches or stomach aches. These impacts can persist into adulthood, leading to suicide, unaliving for TikTok's sake, then it say idle, addiction, self-harm, and substance abuse. Now can y'all understand why I share my story? Now do y'all understand? And right now, and I'm getting ready to thank God again. Because number one, he has a tendency of taking me to look at that 5-year-old boy inside of me that was crying out for help. That's why when y'all hear me share about my 12-step spiritual program, this is the same type of steps that I will take when it comes to embracing our youth as well. Because the goal is to take them back inside of themselves. But it starts with communication, parents. It starts with communicating with your children, parents. It starts with, if you don't have the knowledge and the wisdom to further educate your children, there are programs, parents. You don't have to be afraid to reach out to these programs to help your children and yourself. That's what the couch talk is all about. My 12-step spiritual journey. Learning to helping us to develop a more personal relationship with self. And it starts with communicating. That's what I'm doing now. That's why when I went back to 11 years old, I had just graduated from the 5th grade during that time to go into the 6th. That's when it switched over into that middle school thing. 6, 7, 8. Dang, it's been so long. Did they do 9? Or was that's 10, 11, 12? But get me with the middle school. Ooh, it's been that long. But look, before I lose track. God dang it. So I'm in a suit and a tie from graduating. Sitting around my cousin and them, laying across the bed. Took a hit. 11 years old. When I think about our youth parents to this day, at 11, well, say 8, oh, that really scares me. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, stuff like that. And they out there doing what they doing, taking pills or whatever to sedate, something ain't right, y'all. So that's too young. Come on, that's too young. If your little 8, 9, 10, 11-year-old kid running around doing a lot of the grown-up stuff with that hardcore bull crap, and right now, and I'm going to share this with y'all because I've been clean now for 33 years. They got pills now that will make them feel the same way it did with us. With the hardcore stuff, the heroin, for TikTok's sake, the smugs. The hardcore, nodding out stuff. They got pills now, and they giving them other stuff. And I got to share certain things, Baltimore City, for the safety of TikTok over here. Because I got TikTok on another live stream. I want it embedded into my regular broadcast network, but I know they sensitive about certain words. And I don't want them to shut it down on there. So I can just be careful over here until I find out further. Then I'll be able to just stream. I'm looking at getting the recording stream and everything. So when I sit down to do my talk show, the talk show, I got that. This right here, look behind me, is the Teen Talk. Teen Talk, giving our youth a voice. That's what today is, family. And guess what? As always, I don't want to leave the parents out. Because you are the voice for those that can't speak out for themselves. And I'm talking about your children. Because sometimes in order for them to get the proper help, you have to sign up. You have to sign them, right? I basically already know. I've done foster care. I've done kinship foster care. Taught me very well how to deal with children. Mainly children that's not mine. but it taught me how to better deal with minds as well. This is my heart, family. This is my heart. Thank you, Lord. Because when I look back at the years, right, I might not have known why I was hurting during that time. It wasn't until I got clean, my 12-step spiritual programs for teenagers. It wasn't until I got clean that I was able to go inside of myself, my 12-step spiritual program for our youth. I was able to go inside and I was able to look back at the trauma, the drama, the stuff that I have been through. In this process, I learned whatever happened then, that's history. You get me? That's history. It's already done. It's been passed. So I had to learn to practice some acceptance on my 12-step spiritual journey. I had to learn to practice some forgiveness on my 12-step spiritual journey. Whatever anger I was carrying, whatever fear I was carrying, whatever those feelings of distrust and abandonment, not feeling truly loved inside, it was all there, but I wasn't feeling it because I was sedating it with outside stuff. I was sedating my feelings and emotions. So whatever trauma that I was dealing with, that's how I dealt with it from the age of 11 until I turned 30. So all my teenage years, now I worked and I done this, I done that, but I was masking my feelings to cope with life. My 12-step spiritual teenage journey. As I began to grow, and I realized the stuff that I was doing, family, because I understand a lot of our youth don't realize what they're doing is destructive, harmful, but it feels right, even when you know it's wrong. I already know that. That's why I can speak the way I do. Because you could not tell me I was wrong. But because of my personal experience of moving forward in life through that 12-step spiritual journey, I'm able to be honest with myself. I get ready to say I screwed up. but look, they all learning lessons, family. Let me put it back that way, okay? They're all learning lessons. So I thank God. But at the time, I didn't see it like that. You get me? But they're all learning lessons because this is how I became to be a better man today than ever. So I thank God for the stuff. Now, we can slow it down with ours. That's what I'm looking at. You get me? If we can slow it down, that's what I'm looking at. Now that you got information, now that you have personal experience, this is my way, thank you, Jesus, of putting the message, getting the message across. And it's not to beat you down because of misinformation and poor information that we grew up on. It's learning from your mistakes. All of our youth aren't out there doing destructive stuff. It's a lot of them doing great things. But my goal or our goal is to reach the ones that's slipping through the crack. That's why I said, parents, you got to know what some of these programs are at in your city. If you have lost control over your children because you are a parent, you're their parents. So you teaching them the difference between right and wrong, and that's what parents are supposed to do. So this day and age, a lot of them taking it for granted. So guess what you do? You point them in the direction of outside resources. Because I'm going to tell y'all right now, you got to put fear back in them. You got to put fear in them to help them understand, because of those destructive behaviors, this is what can happen to you. Now, you being a parent, if they don't respect you in that way, then they're not going to listen. So yes, that's when you reach for outside resources. Help me with my juvenile before y'all put my juvenile in the juvenile system. What preventive maintenance programs y'all have out there? I'm sharing this with y'all because they out there. Parents, you got to get up and do the right things. Big brothers, big sisters. Sometimes as parents, we too close. So when you disciplining your children, you're supposed to. That's why for some of us, you got to reach outside. Look, go outside for help. Help! They don't want to listen to me no more because I'm too close. And they know you love them. They know you want the best for them. Sometimes they'll play us, parents. We know it. That's why y'all might hear me talk about the belt. Really crack. But we ain't got to do them like that no more. It's just getting them the proper help. Not just them, us too. Because all the information, I'm going to say, I'm sorry, I said all. But the information that we're going off on, we might have to learn to do things in a different way or a different approach. You get me? When it comes to our children. Because they know you love them. A lot of them spoiled as heck, so they're going to get out there and they're going to show their butt. Because they know basically it ain't nothing you going to do. You get me? And that's being real. But I'm going to tell y'all, I ain't played that with mine. I gave him a certain look, and I gave him the 3 strikers. Keep screwing up. 1, 2, 3. Now that butt is mine. I'm waiting for my granddaughter. She's 2 years old. She going through those terrible that process. I told my daughter I can't wait so I can whoop her butt. She over there throwing toys all around, looking like a junkyard. I told my daughter make her clean it back up. She'll think about 2, 3 more times. If I pull all this stuff out, I'm gonna have to clean it up myself. I said, make her put it back. I can't wait to use my belt. And y'all know I ain't using my belt. I just like saying that. I can hear her calling me now, Granddad, you on your live talking about beat me with your belt. Yeah. Well, you know, I'm too old for that. I'll be 3. And be playing with me, girl. Granddad, you don't be calling me no girl. I'm a woman. Girl, baby, papa. I love picking with her because I'm like, I can see her now. If I say something smart about a woman, I can see her now calling me, Granddad, why you talking about a woman? I said, I no. And I be telling my daughter, she be cracking up. I said, I can see her now when I'm on my live. Granddad, don't be over here talking about a woman. What? But yeah, parents, I can only thank God, family. As a community activist, right? I love Baltimore City, born and raised. I would not trade Baltimore City in for nothing in this world. Because of the life that I used to live, this is the whole goal of giving back. I looked up, I Googled myself because I Googled myself. Why do I appear to be like the most hated man in Baltimore City or disliked man? And do y'all know it put up a little story about me? But AI put together the stuff that I've been talking about throughout the years and talked about being a community activist, being a community organizer, homeless advocate, a civil rights advocate. Uh, and basically, I'm dealing with the politicians, not y'all. But the goal with that was to empower, to encourage, to motivate y'all for us to come together, right? But rather than us coming together, I got ostracized and talked about and all of that. Not just from the political side of stuff, my own people in Baltimore City. Do y'all know they did a little article on that? Y'all know I've been doing this for a long time, years, some years. So anytime you want to look up anything about Steve Copeland Sr., you can. March the 12th of 2023 wasn't the first time somebody put out some false charges against me and I got arrested. Somebody created some false charges and said when I went down to Middle River, right, to see what was going on down there, but I wouldn't join their team, said that I threatened to blow the protesters' heads off. I had to turn myself in. And this was a black person, a deaconess. No, I'm a community organizer. No, I fight for our civil rights, equal rights, and constitutional rights. I only went down there to try to find out what was going on, to support the black community. And a lot of them that was down there, I knew. Told a big lie and I had to turn myself in. Then again, somebody went and pressed charges on me because I wouldn't be their friend. Closer than close. I don't mix business and pleasure. I had to go to court for that too. And some of y'all post about it. You was one of them too, Larry Wallace. Put me out there like that. Now, guess what? Sometimes, bro, people reap what they sow. My heart goes out to you because I'm watching how they bashing you. I don't talk about that, bro. And you know why I don't talk about that. I'm going to say it in a negative way for you because you know my heart goes out to you, bro. And you know I'm here for you. Whenever we see each other, we greet each other. We greet each other. Christine Flowers, Cherie Rogers, all of y'all. Y'all know I love y'all, but I see how God has us on our own little journey. You know what I mean? Doing work for the people. That's all I'm saying. I know where y'all heart's at. I know where y'all love at. Shannon Wright, I'm proud of you, Queen. Supported you running for mayor. I understand now you get ready to run for, I think, lieutenant governor. You making some big moves, sis. And like I sent you that message, I'm here for you. I'm here. And it's not just because she's a Republican. That's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the woman and her love for the people. I already know that. Donald Scruggins. I apologize. I know where your heart is at for the people. And he reached out to me. Kimberly Klasick. You know our family mingle. Your sons and my sons play soccer together. They've been playing for the longest time. Well, I think it started from the school, but still they friends. See, I know people whose hearts are really for the people. And I know the struggles y'all go through when they realize your hearts are really for the people. Mainly if you don't sell your people out. I'm not a politician. I see it firsthand because of my mouth. I know for me, Brandon Scott, to reach out to Parks and Recreation. That's why when Little Steve went to Amsterdam, Kevin Healy and I went to sit down with Mayor Pugh to let her know, excuse me, y'all, that Next Generation Adidas invited Steve to Amsterdam to represent Baltimore City in the United States. With soccer. $15 years old. He played against their professional team and they beat him. Little Steve and them beat the Dutch. They told us don't say nothing about it, right? But y'all know this big mouth guy not gonna shut his mouth. Mike Conway, Paul Brookshaw. I've been knowing these people since Little Steve was around about 5 years old, playing soccer. They created a whole team around Steve and some other kids. Traveling team. Little Steve traveled basically all over playing soccer with some of the greatest teams out there with young men around near his age. So I know the talents that our youth had within them. I got a niece, sang so beautifully. A lot of times they could sing and you could hear the professionalism in them, but it's pointing them to the right people that would help embrace their talents or their careers. You get me? Their profession. Even though we have the School of the Arts here in Baltimore City, we have the School of the Arts here in Baltimore City. You can create the same type of programs within these community centers. But now we got to reach out to volunteers that will come in and teach them. If it's no more than an hour a day. This is what I was trying to do when I was with some other people in that building, not the building 908. When I met, if her name pop in my head, because it's right here. And I think they still had that building, but they had space in there where we was looking at fixing up a room for modern dance and all that type of stuff. Art. When I say art, I'm talking about like acting, theater, stuff like that. Singing. Getting somebody in that can teach them how to carry a proper note. You get me? So this is some of your colleges students. This is some of your retired theatrical people. You get me? I hope I say that right. That's willing to come back and spend an hour or two, maybe once or twice a week, embracing our children's talents. This is what the multi-purpose center Stephen Copeland Jr. Multi-Purpose Center for Inner City Youth. Music, art, theater, dancing, embracing their talents. We got a lot of multi-purpose centers that's closed down. We got a lot of schools that's closed down. Look at the spaces, recreation centers. Look at the spaces. So yes, Brandon Scott, Westmore, our council members, our school superintendent, Baltimore City. We already know what the crisis is. But it's not enough solutions. And as a result of that, I'm thinking the school to prison pipeline. If we don't properly educate our youth, the school to prison pipeline. And it's just not the young men. The school to prison pipeline. Look what happened to that baby girl. The school to prison pipeline. I'm looking at right here how bullying affect mental health. Key mental health effects of bullying: emotional distress and mental illness. Bullying is heavily linked to anxiety disorders, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. So you know that's PTSD, right? Self-esteem and behavior changes. Victims often suffer from low self-worth, shame, and a loss of interest in activities. Behavioral changes include increased irritability, social isolation, and potential substance abuse. Remember I shared my story from when I was younger, reaching out towards the substance abuse. Then it talks about suicidal, I'm sorry. Addition. I want to make sure I'm saying it right. For TikTok's sake, unaliving yourself. Bullying significantly increases the risk of suicidal thoughts, plans, and attempts. We had a young lady, I'm quite sure it was a lot more, on TikTok that unalived herself. And you have some of these platforms of miserable people. They are miserable people. And when you are miserable inside, you can't do nothing but give back out miserable information. Do you realize that? It was a young lady on here. From what I understand, she had committed. She unalived herself on TikTok. But the people on this messy bullcrap over here had encouraged her to do what she did, from what I understand. Now, One of the things about the Couch Talk show, you can come and I'll listen, and the people that's on my panel. We will share with you the things that you can do to get out of that situation. One thing about the Team Talk show, we will address certain issues, and then we'll share a process of how you can work with your youth and getting them the proper services that they need. And if you don't like the tone of my voice and you think I need to sit up here and sound all professional and weak-minded to you, that's your problem. With TikTok too, don't even know me. Don't know me, but bad mouthing me. And the reason why they bad mouthing me, because y'all know I do what I say. And if I don't do what I say, I know other people that's doing what I say. So I'll point you in those directions. A lot of y'all can't do it. And I understand. You ain't got to get mad. You ain't got to get mad. I understand. You ain't got to get mad. You ain't got to get mad. Okay? I understand a lot of parents don't want their children to get the necessary help that they need. Because if you did, you'll get up off your butt. Oops. Y'all mad. Don't be mad. You know why? Because that's what my wife and I had to do towards our children. That's why I can say right now they're productive members of society. And it's not to say trouble don't come. Don't get it wrong. It's how they deal with it. And if it's too deep, where I felt like, where I feel like they could have dealt with it a lot better, Daddy gonna say something. They'll tell you. You could have handled that much better than that. Mine will tell you. Because he don't play. Ask him. Ask the other ones that I raised. And remember, suicidal. I'm looking and I'm getting ready to say idea, right? Ideal, but it's idea action. Idea action. I just wanted to make sure I'm pronouncing it right. The next one talk about physical manifestation of mental strain. The psychological distress often manifests as physical symptoms, including unexpected headaches and stomach aches and sleep disturbance. Now, can you understand why I be saying my 12-step spiritual teenage journey? My 12-step spiritual journey. My 12-step spiritual journey. My 12 steps, which took me inside a self family, taught me how to learn to love and appreciate me, to have some morals, values, and principles that I can stand on and stand firm and proud. My integrity. Believing back in myself. Academic and social impact. And I'm talking about bullying, family. Victims may experience lower academic achievement, higher absenteeism, and difficulty forming relationships. Remember what I said? Sometimes, I mean, when you sit down and talk with your youth, right? Our younger people, adults, and all that. When you start seeing certain behaviors, that's why I said you might have to reach out and get them the proper help that they need. That's why I was saying, too, you got to pay attention to their talents within them. Whether it's music, art, theater, dancing, it could be a career, because you want to start helping to embrace that while they are young. That's their visions, that's their dreams to become, say, like a professional, career-minded person, like a lawyer, a doctor, a nurse, electrician, a plumber. They might start out working for somebody and then start their own business, stuff like that. But the goal is you want to meet them at the level of where they at. And it starts out young. Different forms of bullying. Traditional bullying involving physical violence, threats, and verbal abuse. Cyber bullying extends the abuse beyond school hours, causing higher levels of anxiety, depression, and fear due to the relentless nature of digital harassment. Impact on others. Bully victims, those who are both bullied and bully others, are at an even higher risk for severe mental health issues. Bystanders, those who witness bullying, may also experience anxiety and depression. If you or someone you know is struggling, help is available through school counselors, mental health professionals, or crisis hotline. And a lot of times, parents, keep in mind, a lot of these counselors and therapists they can't work with your youth without your authorization. The difference with me, I am considered as a life coach. I have the working knowledge of the 12 steps, 12 traditions, and the 12 concepts of the spiritual program that I'm in to help others put their lives back in order. I am not held bound by HIPAA laws. Okay? So I'm coming from a level of personal experience, which was done for others to get licensed, to be professionals. Whether it's your doctorate degree, associate degree, your license, your certificates. But when you're dealing with individuals, when you're dealing with people like Steve Copeland, and then you're able to take people inside of themselves to look at themselves. So before I send any of my clients to a therapist or a counselor of anything in that way, I'm going to evaluate them first anyway. Because the goal is I want them to have faith or trust, be honest, all of that. But it's a process, I like to call it. It starts with communication. So if you know that individual's self-esteem is low or their self-worth is low, the goal is getting them to be honest with themselves about where they at, what's going on with them, That's the first step. Helping them to have faith back within themselves, because their self-esteem is low. They've been beat down mentally, emotionally, and spiritually throughout life. So the goal is helping them believe back in their self that they are much greater than anything anybody can say out their mouths. But they got to believe it back in here. So basically, they learning to be honest with themselves. They learning to have faith back in themselves. They learning to trust back in themselves. These are morals, values, and spiritual principles for self. That's why when y'all hear me say things like, I'm a loving, caring, kind, considerate person, I'm talking about my makeup as a human being. When I say I'm a compassionate, warm, sensitive man, I'm talking about my makeup as a human being. But I'm feeding myself positive information. Even if stuff come across my head and it might say, you ain't gonna beat them, you ain't gonna beat them, blah, 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 blah. No, I'm better than that. And I know a lot of y'all over there saying to yourself, no, he's not. No, he's not. Oh, yes, he is too. You the one better turn it around for yourself. These are the steps. These are the steps to helping you develop a personal relationship back with yourself. And I'm going to say the God of your understanding, that higher power, that power greater than, who strengthens you, who encourages you. I was coming to the house one day, right? And I happened to look at myself. I was born in 1962, February the 20th. That was my beginning. In the beginning. That was my beginning to life, to living. In the beginning. You get it? In the beginning. And then I'm looking at all in between. Because one day, guess what? It's going to end. So in the beginning, and what's all in between it? Until that day come when it ends. God is the Alpha and the Omega. He is the beginning and he is the end. Catch what I'm saying. And he showed me, Steve Copeland, you have a beginning. And your beginning began February the 20th, 1962. And all in between are your trials, your tribulations, your embracing life, you're moving forward. And in this process, from you experiencing what you experienced in life, son, now you can go back and encourage and motivate and empower others that's dealing with trials and tribulations. Where you can tell them, hang in there. He got bigger and better plans for you. I know that storm weighing you down, but if you're in the spirit like that, he got bigger and better things. And that's the way God, we already shaped the mold. Don't get it wrong. We already shaped the mold, because I started understanding everything I'm doing right now, he put in me for me to come and share these things with y'all. Everything I'm sharing right now and the work I have done throughout the years as a community activist, as a community organizer, as a human rights advocate, As somebody that's in Baltimore City that just want to see his city get better, spoke out on many things, still speaks out when I'm asked to come and speak. That's not a problem. Started Strengthen the Community, started the LaTanya D. Copeland House of Hope, which is a temporary to permanent housing program to work with our homeless and less fortunate people. And there's other great programs out there that's doing the same things. But you'd be surprised how many people that's slipping through the cracks. We got hotels for the homeless and the less fortunate people. But still, you got so many people that's slipping through the cracks. I'm talking about thousands. They helping thousands, but still you have thousands that's not getting the proper help that they want. I mean, they looking for. I'm sorry, fam. That's why I do what I do, family. To help us. To teach, to share with others how we can slow a lot of this stuff down. And this was the one I was looking for. And I'm gonna hurry up and do this so I can get ready to end this. Y'all know it's from 6 to 8. Stopping bullying requires immediate action from witness and adults to create a safe environment. Key strategies include reporting incidents to trusted adults, using calm, clear communication to tell the bully to stop, walking away and fostering an inclusive school culture that supports victims. And that's what I was looking at too. Because I think what happened with this young lady, this baby girl, I believe that there are going to be more bullying intervention programs. I do. Because that was horrible. I'm telling you right now, a lot of these nonprofits or organizations that's dealing with the youth, I believe y'all gonna have to come up with some stop bullying programs. If you are being bullied, tell a trusted adult. Report it immediately to parents, teachers, coaches, or school counselors. Respond calmly. Respond calmly. If safe, look the bully in the eyes and tell them to stop in a clear voice. That goes back to, you got to put fear in that individual, or you got to put fear there. Do not fight back, walk away. This says walk away. Remove yourself from the situation. Avoid being alone. Stay in groups or in areas with adults, other kids. If you see bullying, bystanders, actions, right? Speak up. It is safe. Tell the bully to stop. Saying that's not cool can make a difference. Be a friend. Reach out to the person being bullied. Offer support or walk with them to get away from the situation. Report it. Tell adults reporting is not snitching, It is keeping people safe. And I understand that, I believe it said the father had went up to school as well, the mother. And normally the parents will sit down with the school to talk about these issues. Now, I would love to find out when people report bullying, why the school won't take more action to prevent it from actually happening like this right here. I would love to sit with them and see what they say. Because I was thinking about that too. See, sometimes people don't give a bloop because it's not theirs, children. Because they can provide a better and safer place. But bullying don't just happen in low to moderate income places. Okay? Community school action. Establish clear policies. Schools must have consistent, enforced, and clear and bullying rules. Build inclusive environments. Encourage inclusivity and organize events that mix groups, helping lonely students feel welcome. Open communication. Parents should talk regularly with their children about their school days, friendships, and safety. I've been saying it all on this. Parents, you have to talk to your children. If you see some unusual behaviors with your children or your child, talk with them. Just don't push them to the side. And not only that, not just talking with them, take action. I think sometimes, and that's just me, family, when I look at myself, I'm going to say as an adult now, and just dealing with life issues and struggles as an adult. Just because our children don't have to worry about the BGE, the rent, or the mortgage, or the car payment, stuff like that, that doesn't mean they don't go through stuff mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I'm just looking at, and thank you, God, I got to say that again. Growing up without a father, and then being married twice and walking away from both marriages, I knew how important it was to continue that connection with my children because I didn't want them to feel abandoned. I would question them, and I always watched the type of people that they was around too, because I didn't play that getting with gangs and all that type of stuff, mainly for little Steve, because he's a boy. Because of where I came from, I thank God that I was able to better protect mine. You get me? That's all. And we was able to provide a better life for them. I thank you. I thank you, Lord, that we was able to provide a better life. I'm gonna get ready to end this, family. I love y'all. Tomorrow, I'll be back, God's will, at 6 o'clock. the Be More's Real Teen Talk Show. And parents, do you really want to help your child or your children that's practicing illegal, destructive behaviors that could either cause them to lose their lives or cause them at a very, very early young age spending the rest of their life behind bars? Because it's happening. That's why you got the juvenile facility there. But do we have enough intervention programs? I don't know if it'll ever be enough. I don't know. But I know we can work towards slowing it down or putting a halt to it. Our children are our future. I don't know about y'all, but I want to see mine grow up. Boy, mine are grown. I'm looking at the grand now and be prosperous in life. I would love before God called me home. See, I'm in granddaddy mode now. I already see what mine's doing. Already see what mine's doing with theirs. Cherie Copeland, I'm proud of you. Ebony, Daryl, Peanut, proud of you. They my sister children. Sheena, Kaya, Tashia, Sienna, and Lil Steve. They my children. I'm proud of my nieces and nephews, my great nieces and nephews. Very, very proud. Proud of their mothers, how they raising them. Proud of the fathers that's involved in the ones' lives that they are involved in. Very proud, 64-year-old man. I just want to help others, family. I hope my fan on, so I hope it's not making a lot of noise like it did yesterday. I think because I had it behind it, where the air was coming like this, and it made it sound real loud. But the heat vent is right here, right? And I just had to turn the fan on to kind of keep it a little cooler for me. So I hope in the background is not as loud as it was yesterday. Y'all heard me and everything, but I could hear the background noise. So I'm hoping that it's not like that again today. If not, I mean, if it is, I'm gonna have to adjust stuff. That's all. Probably turn it a little bit more that way, where it won't blow past me, or but it'll blow, but not where this will catch it. So, all right, family, because I'm starting to stumble around. Tomorrow, 6:00 Eastern District Standard Time. I might touch back on bullying. I might focus more on this one right here. How to stop bullying. So I'm gonna read up more on it. Yep, I'm gonna read up more on it. I see how to stop bullying. Then it says 9 ways to prevent your kid from being bullied. So I'm going to read more into this, family, and please, I have no problem. Baltimore City, who's ever on TikTok, if you want to come on the platform, right? until I'm able to get this Broadstream, my Recast Broadstream network, my Restream broadcast network, Baltimore City, up and running. See, I gotta send out my page number to invite people in. So once I'm able to get better with that, I can have 10 over here, just like over here on TikTok. But I'm gonna tell y'all, we can't all talk at one time. I'm not for it. So once I'm able to learn to do that, we can talk. I don't care where you at. If you're an educator, if you're a therapist, if you're a psychiatrist, I'm talking about working with youth and stuff like that, adults and youth, family, and you want to share your experience on what you are doing to help prevent and slow certain things down, that's what I want. That's what we need. Even for TikTok, I don't need no, I'm not in competition with nobody. Let me make that real clear to y'all. I apologize because when I come off my lives, I be seeing so many invites. The only reason why, not being smart, I don't pop up on a lot of people's platforms no more is it's not the host, it's normally your panel. It's your panel. And I don't feel like arguing with people because, number one, I'm coming from a personal level of experience from the things that I have done and seen and how I was able to overcome. So I'm not in that space where, well, this is what I think you should do and this is how I feel. And I know how you think and feel is very important to you. I don't want to take it for granted. But I have to realize, I started realizing it's nothing like your own personal experience. It's nothing like it. And I can only share with y'all what Steve Copeland is doing to try to slow a lot of this down. Trying to help families grow together and come together. Come together and grow together. I'm talking about the ones that's lost. See, when I talk about the teen talk, a lot of people don't break their necks to come over and talk about it. What can we do? Or what can you do to help your troubled youth? Okay, I'm from Baltimore City. What programs in Baltimore City I can take them to? So I throw some names at you. You got to do your research. Look them up. All right, Be More City. And you can tell them the big mouth boy, black dude from Baltimore City, Steve Copeland, told you about their programs to get the proper help for your youth. How can we stop the bullying? We still got work to do. Like I said, my heart goes out to the family of the 12-year-old. And not just that family. I'm looking at the youths that was part of it. I'm looking at the ones that was there and watching it happen and didn't try to intervene. Because do y'all know, if you run across a nasty prosecutor, they can charge him with being guilty by association, even though they didn't do anything. And I'm just looking at us, and that's not being smart, family. I'm just looking at us. I was charged with guilty by association. We know you didn't do this. We know you didn't do that. But the point, I was there. And I'm a black man. So that's the only thing I could think of. If the prosecutor don't want to be nasty. The ones that I witnessed it. So a lot of stuff can go down, family. All right. I love y'all. How to stop bullying. I need parents. I need principals. I need the school to pay close attention about the bullying. I have no problem coming to sit with your bully. Okay? I have no problem coming to sit and talking with your outer order youth. I was once one. And the goal is to help them feel comfortable where we can look each other in the eye and they can tell me, okay, what's going on? Why are you acting like this? And parents, keep in mind, if you are mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, physically abusing your children, you know they only going to get back what's happening to them. So eventually they're going to tell. So you better go get some help. Okay? For yourself. Stop bullying parents, your own children. Be More's Real Teen Talk Show. Giving our youth and parents a voice. Love y'all, Baltimore City. And good